Anyways, tech stocks getting crushed in yesterday's sell-off. FANG stocks are now well off their highs. Facebook off more than 15%. Apple down 17%. Amazon off 16%. Join us now. It's all running together, Stephanie, because I think I just talked to you about that. Was that on another show? You got a lot of smart comments about what's going on with tech. Chief investment strategist at Hightower and a CNBC contributor, Dan Ives, managing director at Wedbush Securities. Steph, I think we had this conversation actually about rising rates in tech and what finally happens. Is there a dip to be bought, or is there more interest rate pressure to be wary of?
I think you have to be selective on tech. And by the way, good morning. I think you have to be selective on technology, Joe, at this point. I think in technology, you want to be more on the cyclical side of things because the end markets are actually seeing a lot of growth, a lot of momentum. I think FANG was last year's story, last couple of years' story. I think it's very over-owned. And they're not particularly expensive, but I don't think that there's a lot of catalyst to get them higher. And in fact, I'm net. I was a seller of Facebook. I am making my bet on Alphabet because I do think there's operating leverage. It's a reopen play because of travel search. I think there's operating margin expansion and leverage there as well. They're buying back a lot of stock. So that's the one I would play within FANG, but I'm underweight FANG. Where I want to be, I would be buying Broadcom all day long today. I thought that quarter was phenomenal. 14% organic growth, 23% operating profit growth, free cash flow, 35% growth. They're doing all the right things. Their data center, their cloud, 20% is Apple exposure. So you get a lot of the good end market growth, and it's actually at a very reasonable multiple at 20 times. NXPI, same thing. They just announced 50% increase in their dividend, $2 billion buyback on top of the buybacks that they've already been doing. It's auto, it's contactless pay. So I think there are places in tech you can be, but I think you want to be selective, and I think you want to go more on the cyclical side, semi-cap equipment.
That's a good summary. Dan, you beat the bushes. You go through the weeds. You analyze income statements and think about innovation and everything else. And then all of a sudden 50 basis points comes along. Do you just throw out your entire thesis on all of technology when something macro like that happens? Does it help all that work you do when something like a different interest rate environment can affect valuations?
I think, to me, it creates a golden buying opportunity. We're in the middle of what I believe is a massive bull market for tech. We think tech stocks are still up 30% from here. When I look at the innovation on cloud, cybersecurity, 5G, I almost call it a fourth industrial revolution. What we're seeing here, this is a pound the table moment. So, I understand what Stephanie's saying, but in my opinion, this is the time you look across the DocuSigns, the Apples, the Z-scalers, and I view this as just a golden opportunity to own tech, and we're not changing our thesis because of a 50 bip move in the 10-year.
I guess, Dan, if you look at the stock market over time, that makes sense almost all the time if you can keep your cool, keep your head. If the market was at 800 in 1981, and we know where it is now, then anytime macro factors cause you to get nervous and sell, that is a time to add to your positions. And it's that simple with technology, with ones that have a great future.
Well, and that's the last 48 hours. I mean, I was up till midnight last night with PMs going through the names, the levels where you want to pound the table and own these names. And I think that's sort of my view in terms of where we go on tech. We're talking $2 trillion that's going to be spent on cloud, cybersecurity, 5G over the coming years. And I think there's a bit of a misnomer in terms of the return to the office and the work from home, and the tech story is dead. Yeah. I think we're only halfway through it, in my opinion.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.